Hey guys, it's Mark from Christ-Centered Fitness, and I want to talk to you for a couple minutes about gluten. Specifically, gluten has got a bad rap over the last couple of years, and if people want to lose weight and get healthy, one of the most popular recommendations you'll see given out there is to cut out gluten. So what is gluten? It's basically a mixture of proteins that is naturally occurring in some grains like wheat, for example. Now, if you have something called celiac disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, you'd want to cut out gluten because it can have adverse effects on your body. Specifically, it can affect the villi or some of the little fingers and the small intestine, and it can have really negative effects on your health. Other than that, the majority of people do not need to eliminate gluten. Now, there's also something called a non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which means that there are no antibodies that are detectable. There's no damage to the villi or the parts in the small intestine, but people still have negative symptoms when they consume gluten. They feel bloated, gassy, diarrhea, stuff like that. And that can happen to some people when they consume gluten-containing foods. Now, 1% of the population, it's estimated, suffer from celiac disease, and the non-celiac gluten sensitivity estimates put it at around maybe 13%, but it's really hard to know what the actual incidence is because it's really a self-diagnosis for most people. Even if that number is true, we've got a total of 14%, meaning that the other 86 or so remaining percent of people do not have any issues specifically with gluten, and that cutting it out really isn't necessary for those people. Now, if you've cut out gluten and you feel better as a result of that, by all means, keep doing that. There's no problem with doing that. But the idea that cutting out gluten is some miracle cure for weight loss or for health is really a myth. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, unless you have a specific disorder that requires cutting out gluten, the truth is that you can healthfully consume gluten otherwise without any consequences. And you'd really be better off to focus on the big rocks in terms of the things that are of most importance, like making sure your calorie intake is within a reasonable range for your goal, to making sure that you're consuming adequate protein, getting in plenty of fruits and vegetables, and getting regular physical activity. I'd prioritize those things first because really there are no secrets to long-term health and stewardship. What it comes down to is consistent, ongoing implementation of the basics, and then taking things out specifically if they affect you, but not just because someone says that it's the be-all, end-all in terms of making progress and taking care of your health, because that's not always the case. So I hope that helps you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day.